have to kneel at the altar. You don't have to kill a chicken. You don't have to do any of that. You already are all the power if you would call back what you have already given away erroneously in your desire and detriment. In your desire to be someone else, which is desire and detriment, you have given your authority to someone else, and now you don't have any. Now you're like, where's my authority? And you're like, you gave it to all the movie stars. You gave it to the rapper. You gave it to the pretty girl. You gave it to the handsome guy. And so your pockets are empty.
That's right. Lint, dust bunnies.
And that's conscious. That's the conscious part of it in our unwillingness to see our greatness. We give our energy to make someone great to another. And then we wonder why we're not great. That's the conscious bestowing upon someone the authority in our experience. Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun, and we welcome you here today to our discussion about consciousness. So before we begin, Tarvars, will you bring us into the Call for Truth?
Well, certainly, and we encourage you all to join us in the Call for the Truth. Shall we call forth the frequency of truth to come forward? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we call to speak the truth, calling forth the courage to speak the truth? Shall we call forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? And feel the truth move into you. And if you want to continue the pursuit of truth with us, click the like, the subscribe, hit that bell notification to stay updated with our live streams and our pre-recorded podcast episodes. So we are here. We're talking about consciousness.
Yes.
And for those that are joining, one of the new things that we're doing is we are using the Call for the Truth Divination cards as topics, and our card pool is the theme consciousness, and this is the crown chakra. And the maxim states, you are either the deliberate conscious creator of your own experience, or you give your conscious consent to another, and then they can also move forward to create your circumstance.
Yes.
What arises in your mind? Or would you elaborate further on this? Because these are your words, ma'am. These are your maxims on the card.
This is such an important aspect, given what we have gone through in our recent history. I love the idea of saying 20/20 hindsight, so we can look back to 2020 on the precipice of 2026 to see that we were poised to give our authority over to others who then became the author of our behavior. And in them becoming the author of our behavior, we lost power. And we are in the process of unraveling the truth of the experience of life on Earth, on the Earth plane in this time, and right now, and for the last year or two, there's revelations of things that were hidden from the population of the planet, from the populations of the U.S., that are being revealed on the news and by Congress and all of the powers that be. And in that revelation of the truth of what has been hidden, there's an opportunity for consciousness to expand, where once we know what is, then we know what is not. Then we know who is not when we know who is.
I'm speaking in parables there. Once you know what is, then you know what is not. Wise words.
Well, it's true. It's really true. Once you know that there is no Santa Claus,
then you know that it was Mama and Daddy all along.
Yes.
This is landing though. I know I'm playing around with it, but it's making a lot of sense.
Well, and it's actually
that
like
contrast.
that. You know, your uncle is Sam, there's Santa Claus. It's really
Sam crazy.
those uncles.
Yeah, and we didn't even have a chimney growing up. How
Yeah,
was Santa doing it?
and all of that as well. So I would like to bring our attention back to the fact that for 2 years and even longer, and even still, there are people walking around in masks.
Yeah.
And at the same time, cosmetic surgery, there's a mask. People are producing a way to not identify with their authenticity.
Oh, and now to add on that,
Yeah.
AI filters.
Yes.
I saw something recently. We know filters have been a thing, but it's an extreme level of it now.
Yes, and so all of this is, if we allow our society, if we allow ourselves to be part of, if we participate in, if we put the mask on ourselves when we're by ourselves in our house or in our car, what is going on with our consciousness? Who are we saving? Why are we breathing in what our body wants to exhale? What level of sabotage have we given over our authority to? Someone says you should wear a mask, and science says later, 3 years later, like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm seeing in my YouTube recommendation thumbnails, it was exposed,
It has been exposed, and it shouldn't need to be exposed that what the body exhales is not to be inhaled. That's the idea.
I feel like that was common sense, but
yes,
but trust the science. Trust the science.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that science. The empirical
Evidence.
Yes, there's a lot to be said about what was the point of view when you decided that was the empirical evidence. But that's not our topic today.
Maybe another time.
So we're really talking about giving over our authority to another, and this is all that humanity really knows, is to, whether you're a monk in a Buddhist temple, whether you're a nun in the Catholic Church, whether you're a student at a university, whether you're 5 years old and in a class where you have to be quiet and are not to say anything but repeat just what you're told, it's all the same thing. We are herded into cultivation of becoming the battery that fuels everything else through our beingness. And then even at the football games, all the yelling, all the screaming, all the adulation is really giving your power over. The players don't use that. The sponsors and the owners get that power. They get all of the residual power from our enthusiasm, all of this wonderful, jubilant power, or all of the misery from TSA or being in traffic.
Yeah, somebody's gobbling that up.
It's energy either way. And we are willingly giving it because we don't have to go and do that at the football game. Cheer and jump up and down, but we want to. We want to do the thing to give our energy to another. We want to stand in line unhappy at TSA, or we would not do it. If we did not, we do choose that. We don't have to choose that. So we give our authority or our energy, or those two words can be interchangeable. Energy is the currency in this universe. So everything you're doing has energy attached, and if you attribute it or give it to another, then you have given them the opportunity to authorize you. You are authorized.
So I want to go back to the words consent, conscious consent, and the level of agreement with these realities. And the example that you were giving were examples where we think we're gaining something in the exchange for what we're giving consent to. But in reality, we're not really getting, well, we're getting something. I think that's the short end of the stick. one way that it can be looked at, but the idea of it's just the word consent that's doing it for me. That
I
there's
think it's
this
very important.
allowing information, and I'm actually thinking about it in other ways too, not just like corporate entities or social systems, but even emotions. Like one of the times I pulled this card and I was thinking about like, ooh, if I let the fear or enter or the guilt or whatever it is, I have given conscious consent to that energy to make my reality. Would you speak about how this extends to not just social constructs or corporations, but also like even other energies that we interface with?
I'd like to start with this idea of how we're cultivated in childhood. So we're cultivated that we are obedient, and in the aspect of obedience, then we receive some level of protection and care or or perceived love because we
listen to the authority.
We listen to.
Why does it feel like a relationship with the government?
It is
where the authority
same
do what we say.
Relationship, whether it's in your home, with your parents, in your school, with your government, and then ultimately with your partner. It's the same relationship.
Like I'm the authority. If you do what I say, I'll keep you safe.
Yes.
This is for your safety and protection.
This is where your safety is in your compliance.
Ooh.
Remember that word.
Compliance feels heavy.
And complicit.
Ooh. Ew.
So we generate that and we keep it going. Our parents went through it. We go through it. Every horrible historical event where people have been aggressed is a level of that same, where they are pressed into compliance or something bad will happen. And so all of this is driven by what you mentioned. It's all driven by fear, which is the biggest trick, because fear is a parasite, but it is also something that you could flip. If we knew there was no death, how would we be controlled? If the ultimate way to make me behave would be to kill me, if I knew there was no death and I was an eternal being and that there is no afterlife because there is no death, then what would you do with me?
I just saw this wild visual of humanity flipping, just raising up, being free, doing whatever we want to go against the system, and people being taken out. We're like, yo, remind me when I come back, I'm gonna forget. It's all right, because I know the truth, right? And then people just getting not popped out, but coming back in, just reinforced.
This happened a lot in the previous mystical history that has been lost, where whole races of people disappeared.
Yeah,
they just like, nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. Where whole tribes of
all caps, huh? Nope. Period.
Whole tribes of Indians walked into the ocean like it's better over there.
Yeah.
Underwater. Thank you very much. You will not be making a slave out of me. So this has happened. It's just been erased from our history, but it is a response. It's not the only response, and it is not going to come to that at this point, because if we're closer now to that than we've been in this earth. This is the sixth earth, in this earth experience. We're already like, I don't believe you. We're already like, I'm not going to go for the okie doke. We're already like, you can't, gaslight me anymore. So it doesn't take much for us to get there. But the reality is the trick has been played. And once we know that fear is the biggest trick, that as soon as we decide what you got besides death, what else you got? What you got in your pocket?
You're like, I don't know.
House arrest?
That's all I got right now. Sorry.
Keep me in my country, not let me fly somewhere else? You're going to take my bank account? What are you going to do? What else you got? Yeah. Once we know what's available on the list of detriment, then we can find the resources to flip it. So what's happening now is that we are still in the throes of giving our authority to another because of fear and convenience. And now we have become controlled through our own desire for convenience. We're all addicted to the convenience of the society that we live in. And that in and of itself produces a situation where we want to give you authority over us. We want you to author us because you're the one who's got the publishing company.
Yeah.
You're the one who can put us on the book tour.
Yeah, you can solve all my problems. You can do all the things that I don't want to do.
That part of that energy that you're using is mine, and you can, because that's how energy works. So
but there's a price for that.
The price for that is that they become the author of you. That they write the book, they publish the book, they sell the book, they give you the book tour, and then they pay you the money, and then you could do what's left over, which is be the recipient of their bestowing upon you their authorship of who you are.
That feels like the short end of the stick. It still feels like it's not much, but I can see where flipping it, right? This card is Crown Chakra, which brings to mind our divine connection and allowing the inspiration and our actions to be inspired from that divine cosmic connection.
Right.
Would you speak about this? Because where my mind's going is a little meta, and I'm thinking about the true author is my divine higher self, cosmic self that already got a script, and whether or not I'm sticking to it is between me and, how to say this, between me and God, right? And so I can see where that would be the solution, to step into it, to trust it. But would you elaborate on the connection with the crown? And this
true.
authorship and consciousness itself.
Where's the most dangerous place to keep your money right now? And I'll prove it in 60 seconds. Most people think banks are safe. They believe their deposits are sitting in a vault with their name on it. But here's the truth. The moment you hand money to the bank, it's no longer yours. Legally, you're a creditor. And in a crisis, creditors are paid last, if at all. Banks don't protect your money. They use it. They lend it, they leverage it, and gamble it. If their bets go bad, you carry the risk. And if inflation rises, your safe savings lose. They lose value every single year. That's why millionaires don't park cash in banks. They park cash in assets. History proves it. Cyprus 2013, deposits frozen, savers lost billions. Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, currencies collapsed, savings evaporated. Even in the US, over 500 banks failed since 2008. And yet, central banks themselves are quietly stacking gold at record levels. Why? Because they know the real safety lies. Because they know where the real safety lies. So here's how you protect yourself. Keep only what you need for daily liquidity in the bank. Move the rest into assets that can't be frozen or printed. Things like gold, real estate, and private equity. Build a reserve outside the system so you own your money, not rent it. Start now, because the riskiest place to keep wealth is where everyone else feels safe.
So we are actually in the teaching of the 7 chakra system, but there are 12 chakras. There are actually many more. There's a universal chakra. But in the 12 chakra system, our higher self is at the 12th chakra. But to get to that, everything has been made to disrupt our connection and our peace so that we can't get there. However, it is doable. It is a destination that we can achieve by going into silence, going into meditation, getting quiet, and then allowing ourselves to not be interfered with by electromagnetic interferences, by 6G, by other things on the computer, all of the bells and whistles, all of the Christmas lights. It's like, look at the lights. It's like, you've been seeing lights all your life, why are you still so mesmerized by that? Creation is so much more interesting. So it is the relationship between the higher self in which the energy from the galactic center comes into our crown chakra and then informs the chakra system and then our field. And that is how we get energy and how energy is dispersed. And there are no walls. There is no system that everybody has to have to funnel their energy into a church or into a government or into a money system. It doesn't exist like that. It exists where each person is part of the whole or the hologram, and that they are a reflection of the light from which their creator has made them, and that they within each of us is the blueprint of purpose. So it's already in us, and Mother Earth carries the blueprint for every being who's on her back. So you could also sit on the back of the mother and get quiet and ask if you need help or to move you into the inspiration of your purpose. The idea of being in purpose connects you automatically to all of the greater realms and all of the multidimensional self.
You are answering the questions in my head. I was going to ask, how can we strengthen our trust of this? Because the system that we've been participating in does everything to influence a distrust in this inner knowingness, this inner authority, inner authorship, in our divine connection. But you, as I said it in my mind, you began to articulate it, like build a relationship with the mother, and then specifically asking to be shown our purpose. And I love what you were saying, and if you'd build on it a little more about how being in purpose allows us to span the dimensional world.
Yes.
It's so clear when you say it, but like, Juice, talk that talk, please.
I think the most important thing to know is that the life we're living is not the life that we were originally designed to have. And that once you know that, you then have the power to decide where to direct your energy. And if you direct it into things that limit your ability to receive the abundance and prosperity and the growth that you desire, then you have to know that everything is standing in front of you with the truth in it. That it's not, the thing that people say, which is first, the chicken or the egg? The reality is that in who we are is every answer. It is not in the government. It is not in the churches. It is not in the field. It's inside of us, waiting to be called forth. In the same way that inside of a seed is waiting to be a turnip or waiting to be the celery, or inside the egg is everything the chicken will ever do.
It's wild how it's so in front of our faces, but
it is.
It just escapes us.
Yes, it does escape us because we've been just moved just a bit off from it.
Yeah. You know what they say, when you're in the water on a ship, if you're heading to a destination and you're off just a degree or two, you'll be way off course on some Christopher Columbus, thinking you in India and you over there in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Look at these Indians, excuse me.
No, yes, it's absolutely like that. It's just us looking at the truth. What is the truth on the earth plane? It's nature.
Yeah.
And even it is being tainted, but it is still essentially the truth of the design. Who we are, what our purpose is, and what we are here for is already inside of us. Nobody will bestow that upon you. It has already been bestowed upon you in your DNA, in your design, in your humanness, as it is for every living thing. Inside of the ant is the ant's purpose. Inside of the tree is the tree's purpose. The tree is here to to be the home for many things and to produce oxygen, and it's in its purpose. Mm-hmm. We less so. We're less so. However, because we willingly and consciously, I'm getting to the answer to the question, because we consciously decide like, ooh, that person looks like they got more purpose than I have. I'm going to lend my energy to their purpose, and then I will have the fruits of what they produce from their purpose, but it doesn't work that way. You lend yourself towards their purpose, and then they have more purpose. They have yours and they have theirs. Mm-hmm. And you're no longer in the equation. And that's where we find ourselves, where we are not being considered. When were you last consulted about huge medical breakthroughs?
Never.
When were you last consulted about laws that concern your children and your livelihood and whether we will be at war?
Is this rhetorical, or do I need to answer this? Because
So
I've never gotten an email, LaOta.
when you give your authority over to another, then you have agreed to author whatever the other wants, whether it's in your best interest and you have been considered or not.
Yeah.
So this is where we find ourselves.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Well, I will say that I love what you were saying in the picture you conveyed of who we are. Understanding who we are helps us move back into
Yes.
the rhythm of that power that's already innate, like you said. No one has to knight you and give it. It's already there. You just got to turn a couple of degrees to lock in the line.
You don't have to kneel at the altar. You don't have to kill a chicken. You don't have to do any of that. You already are all the power if you would call back what you have already given away erroneously in your desire and detriment. In your desire to be someone else, which is desire and detriment, you have given your authority to someone else, and now you don't have any. Now you're like, where's my authority? And you're like, you gave it to all the movie stars. You gave it to the rapper. You gave it to the pretty girl. You gave it to the handsome guy. You know, and so your pockets are empty.
That's right. Lint, dust bunnies.
And that's conscious. That's the conscious part of it in our unwillingness to see our greatness. We give our energy to make someone great to another, and then we wonder why we're not great. That's the conscious bestowing upon someone the authority in our experience.
Sounds like humanity's been tricked.
And there's a remedy for that. We can call for correction.
Would you elaborate
Yes.
on correction? I want to say that I have seen both positive and negative responses or reactions to the idea or concept of correcting oneself. Even, the Matrix we're in, when we're corrected, we're like, oh, don't correct me. But what is this correction that you speak of?
Correction is a frequency, as all things are. We are a frequency set. Everything, truth is a frequency, gratitude is a frequency, correction is a frequency that we can embody, invite into us, call forth, relentlessly call to love it. And it will come into us and it will do whatever needs to be corrected. But if we are so pleased with ourselves, if we have nothing in which we would like to change, if we are so happy with who we are, we may not want to be corrected.
Like, you don't got no more growing to do? You done doing all the growing?
Like, if you are finished, if you're
complete.
then correction
Frame
is not
me.
needed.
Hang me on the wall. Like,
Right, there's
Excuse
no need for correction. Right? If you are finished and complete, you can
does
be.
life work that way though?
Yes.
Or
I mean, well,
the
people
universe?
are trying to work it like that. I'm not saying, but people are trying to work it like that. Like, no, don't correct me. Don't even hint that I could not be perfect already. So that kind of illusion that hardens into delusion may take. We are eternal beings. It may take time to unravel, but we have it. We're eternal.
okay.
The creation is beneficent.
I can read between the lines.
So nobody's in judgment, just observation.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it's just, I personally embrace correction because I find that when I ask to be corrected, it is always surprising. It often is painful, and then I'm over it, and then I'm better.
I'd like to elaborate on
Yes.
that because it's been a very similar experience where I'm going to share my first early experiences of calling forth correction. I remember they were dealing with office things, like pending things, and I would call forth correction, and then that thing that I forgot to do or person I forgot to follow back up with would jump up in my face. It's like, oh no. But what I did notice is that correction gave me the impetus to move through it. It's like there was this energy available that wasn't before, where not only, of course, I was like startled by, oh, that's right. There's an unresolved matter that I need to address that came back up. But not only that, let's do it. Let's follow up or address the thing that's been pending. And as you say, now I'm over it.
Well,
complete.
because in correction is satisfaction
Hey.
and victory
So operating incorrectly robs us of our satisfaction?
and victories.
Dang.
And the victories. Not only that, but what correction displaces in our consciousness. We're talking about consciousness here. What is displaced? There is weight and mass to thought. And weight and mass has parameters. So if in your consciousness, whatever those parameters are, it's filled up with things that are not giving you satisfaction and victories, when you call for correction, it makes a path, makes more room for exaltation. So if we thought about it that way, we'd be like, kick open the doors. I know I got a lot of things in here that don't feel like satisfaction, but our desire in detriment to be perfect already. I often hear people say, I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, no, you're not. How is that possible? You live in the third dimension? Are you is your food perfect? Is your language perfect? All of your relationships you're a perfectionist? Are you thinking about what you're saying?
That's probably a compartmentalized statement.
Which is fine, and what a wonderful idea to want to be. But there are other things along the way.
I can still sense you're like, no, it don't work that way.
Why don't you be human? Why don't we start with that?
Yeah.
You be a human and I'll be a human too.
I like that.
Yeah. You consider me and I'll consider you. How about that? I will relentlessly love you if you relentlessly love me. How about that? Not quite perfection, is it?
No, but
it feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels real good. I'm like, I want to be part of that world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are encouraged to call upon correction, and correction will discern what thing needs to have this, what is in opposition to the thing that needs to be done in the office or wherever the concern is.
Yeah.
The correction is intelligence from creation. It is the frequency that puts things aright. Calling for correction is a go-to strategy that we recommend here at Of the Sun for all of humanity about everything. This is a way that if we universally, and if we did it bilaterally, if we all decided to be correct, our world would change.
So this brings us back full circle to being the conscious, deliberate creator of your reality through the correction.
Yes.
And the authorship of the responsibility to do the thing for you instead of giving it to another person. It's a beautiful thing. I can see, again, you've taken us full circle through the solution.
Yes, it works out, and we don't even have to pull a card because we have the card already.
Got the card. Yeah.
We already have the card. Did you have any final thoughts about this?
The idea of correction, I love how you elaborated it. It felt as though it conveyed not only power, but distilled it down in a very practical, tangible sense to show the benefit and the value in doing such a thing, and I think even more so the intelligence of correction. And it truly is, if you call it forth, you'll see it matriculate in ways that you don't have the bandwidth for to micromanage. And I think that's something that's fascinating But the explanation, I feel, was very on point for at whatever level of engagement the individual listening to this is with of the sun.
Yeah, I'd like to share that we recommend that you do it at night where you're unconscious. You say before you go to sleep, I call forth from creation correction. Say it 3 times. Allow yourself to have that as your experience every night.
Bedtime story.
And then wake up and see what your new story is. See what happens, what changes take place. It is, we need the 8 hours for correction to find its way through all of the lineage and all of the ancestors and all of the past lives, because we are multidimensional, and much of what needs correction we are unconscious of, but correction is not. So it's an exciting tool. We hope that you will take advantage of it. And we thank you.
I'm over here calling for correction. I'm like, ooh, let me sit down. I can feel the charge.
Oh, yes, it feels good.
Yeah.
We thank you for joining us. We hope that you will join us again at the Call for Truth. We give you the greetings of In Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect,